What do an AI gold rush, a fragile global economy, a couple of booming consumer brands, and some major political scandals all have in common? Well, for one thing, they all happen today, November 12th, 2025. And by connecting the dots between them, we can actually uncover a hidden story about the world we're living in.
We're all just constantly swimming in headlines, right? But what's the real story? How do you possibly find the signal that's buried in all of that noise? Today, we're going to show you one way to do it. We're going to focus on the patterns that start to pop up when you look at just 4 key events from a single day.
Okay, so look at these keywords from today. A tech startup's funding, a celebrity brand's valuation, some pretty grim unemployment figures, and a major political scandal. On their own, they're just noise, right? But together? Well, together they start to reveal where capital, culture, and power are really headed.
We're going to start where so much of the money, and let's be honest, the hype is right now: artificial intelligence. And this isn't just about some futuristic robots. This is about a massive, high-stakes gold rush that's reshaping whole industries as we speak.
$36.5 million. That's the amount of fresh capital just raised by an AI startup called CodeMetal. The funding round was led by the venture firm Excel, a company known for making some really smart early bets on giants like Facebook. So yeah, this is a pretty big deal, and it points to a very specific corner of the whole AI boom.
So what does CodeMetal actually do? Well, they're moving beyond what some are calling vibe coding, using AI to just brainstorm some rough ideas. Instead, they're focused on production code. They create guaranteed, 100% accurate code for mission-critical industries like automotive, defense, and medical devices. It's less about brainstorming and way more about bulletproof engineering.
Now, while CodeMetal is getting super specific, the giants are making these massive, landscape-altering bets. Today, SoftBank announced it sold its entire $5.83 billion stake in the chipmaker NVIDIA just to go all in on OpenAI. And at the exact same time, NVIDIA supplier Foxconn saw its profits jump 17%, driven almost entirely by the huge demand for AI servers. Billions of dollars are moving at lightning speed.
So here's the crucial point. The AI story isn't just about cool new tech. It's really a dual narrative. On one hand, you've got companies like CodeMetal solving these very precise, high-stakes problems. And on the other hand, you've got this absolute tidal wave of capital that's reshaping the entire market, creating new winners and forcing giants to make these enormous bets on what's next.
All right, now let's contrast that hyper-growth of AI with the global economy, where the numbers from today are telling a much more cautious, interconnected story. This is where the speculative frenzy of tech meets the hard reality of jobs and interest rates.
Our first stop is the UK. The unemployment rate there just rose to a higher than expected 5% in the 3 months to September. And with the number of payrolled workers also falling, traders are now betting there's a 75% chance the Bank of England will have to cut interest rates before Christmas.
Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the message from the U.S. Federal Reserve is basically one of patience. Boston Fed President Collins signaled today that they think it's probably best to hold interest rates steady for some time, really taking a wait-and-see approach as they watch the economy.
And here's where we can see just how connected everything is. News broke today that a deal might be close to ending the U.S. government shutdown. And what happened? The Japanese yen, which is a classic safe haven currency that investors run to when things get uncertain, it weakened to a 9-month low. Why? Because traders immediately started pricing in a return to stability in the U.S.
So, what's the key takeaway? A political negotiation in Washington, D.C. has an immediate, measurable financial impact in Tokyo. The global economy is just this tightly woven fabric, and when you pull on one thread in one country, you feel the vibrations across the entire system.
Okay, now, despite all that macroeconomic uncertainty, there are these pockets of incredible growth. Let's turn from the big picture to the consumer world, where a couple of challenger brands are absolutely crushing it today.
First up, the Swiss sneaker company On. Its shares just soared over 20% today after they raised their sales forecast for the 3rd time in a row. Their strategy is pretty simple but clearly powerful. Sell innovative products at full price, even on Black Friday. And wow, is it working?
And then there's this number, $5 billion. That is the new valuation for Kim Kardashian's brand Skims after it just raised another $225 million in a new funding round.
So how is Skims going to use all that cash? Well, after building a digital-first empire, the brand is making a big pivot.
It's now laying the groundwork to become a predominantly physical business by speeding up its plan to open more brick-and-mortar stores. The crucial point here is that even while economists are worrying about the big picture, brands like On and Skims are proving that a potent mix of product innovation and a deep connection with customers can create incredible growth. They're not just surviving, they are absolutely thriving. All right, for our final theme of the day, the tone is going to shift a bit. We're now looking at two stories that put individuals in positions of immense power and influence under a really harsh and public spotlight.
We're going to start with a company called Gavini. It's what they call a defense tech unicorn, a startup valued at over $1 billion. It has a $900 million government contract, and its AI software is used by every single branch of the U.S. military to make critical decisions.
Today, its founder Eric Gillespie was arrested and charged with 4 felonies, including soliciting a preteen for sexual contact. He's been placed on administrative leave, and the Pentagon has confirmed it's now looking into potential security issues that have been raised by this arrest.
In another story involving powerful figures, House Democrats today released over 20,000 documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate. In a 2018 email, Epstein reacted to news about Donald Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, by writing, "You see, I know how dirty Donald is."
And another email, this one from 2019 to the author Michael Wolff, contains this allegation, stating that Trump knew about the girls. The White House has responded to the release of these documents. They're calling it a hoax and a bad faith effort by Democrats to distract from the government shutdown.
So whether it's a key defense contractor or a former president, the core theme is the same. These events are forcing a difficult but really necessary public examination of power, influence, and accountability, and they're raising questions that echo from the Pentagon all the way to the White House.
So there you have it, the story of November 12th, 2025. It's a world where a frenzy of capital is chasing the future of AI, even as the global economy feels pretty fragile. It's a world where some consumer brands seem to be thriving against all odds, while at the exact same time, power and influence are being placed under a harsh spotlight. These aren't separate stories. They're all interconnected threads of our reality. It really makes you wonder, if this is just one day, what story will tomorrow's data tell?